Okay, this marks today's Dreamscape Jam progress. We are currently approaching the halfway mark, but we've got all of our mechanics down here. So, we've got plenty of new scripts to look through. If we go in through our code here, I've organized it. We've got some conditional statements that'll check if you generate a right number, so that'll be useful for scares. If you try something a certain amount of times, if there is a door and a condition based on another condition, which I need to flesh out for a bit more. We have our main guy, locations, which can let you pathfind to other locations, and the base traveler script, which will be useful for when our guy interacts with other guys later. And we have different things that'll happen while your eyes are closed or away from the camera, whether an object moves from one place to another or you get a nice little jump scare for looking away. In terms of our spectator, we have the ability to click on things on the screen to issue him some commands. And with that, we have the hack script refurbished and ready with the hackable interface. I attach that to anything and I allow it to be hacked as long as whatever it would be. So one of these conditions, for example, is a door. It'll be open or not open, and that's required for progress in pathfinding. But it is also hackable. Therefore, something will happen when we go into it. I'm pretty proud of how this goes together. I don't think I'm using interfaces to their full potential. I just started experimenting with them this game jam, but the idea that I can make it reliably borrow code from both of these, and then when I try to hack something, I can depend on being able to get an interface from a game object. Then I can take something like this makeshift door right here, and I can take our locations and they can have a condition that lets you go from one location to another. Be like, okay, this door has to be open. So it'll look over here, and the door has an open variable you have to tick off. And further, the door can be hacked. It has the hackable thing on it. So I've dragged it into one of our commands here. If I go into our world canvas, our hacker, and all the hacks that are currently being recorded, there's a hack right here that will do something to the door. So let's see how this all plays out. We can tab back and forth between our hacking terminal and the area. We can click on different areas to direct him to go to a certain place. I can click on this, and if I blink my eyes, I look away, he doesn't actually do anything. He can't get over there because there's a door that's currently closed blocking him. Neither of those points work. So I'm going to tab over, because let's say there's information on the screen that tells me I can hack open the door with this code. I do it, and now it takes the appropriate level of power and CPU. If I go over here, there's a sprite change, although I just kind of changed it from the UI sprite to the knob sprite. So we'll get those implemented in a second. But now that it's open, if I try this same thing, I'll close my eyes, open them, and he's able to proceed forward. Close my eyes, open them, and he's able to go in between around. I can also specify them to be one way. The pathfinding starts from the objective and draws itself out. So if I go to where he's currently at, which is location 1, marked by this tiny little square here, then I can specify that you can get to location 1 through location 2, and you can get to location 2 from location B. But there's no way to get to location B the other way around. So if I click on that, he is unable to go there, and if I click on that, he's unable to go there. But further, because I've got some recursiveness coded into the locations to look at a location for its locations to look at its locations, as soon as I try to go all the way to here, you can only get from B to 2 and 2 to 1. You can go from B to 1 with that logic. Just skip the intermediate step. So if I go over here, I rip, go over hack enabled, I click and I close my eyes, he's able to find himself all the way over here because he finds a valid path through there. So the recursiveness of the locations is set up. That means I can really mess around with how these things connect. One way, two way, and I can mess with the actual locations. They are represented by the red dot, but the actual commands, that's something I haven't talked as much about, is that these clickable squares that will assign him a task to do, like, oh, go over here, get that guy, whatever it'll be, I can actually go into here, and this is the commands. They're on a world canvas UI, so they can be clickable buttons, simple as. But the area you click on doesn't have to be the literal location. This command is looking at the move right here, which is looking at the location. A command will execute a plan. The plan is to move. The plan moving specifies move to this location. I go to this location and I can specify this to be anywhere where this red dot would be. So I could click on here, but it could be anywhere there. And furthermore, there's children of this position that can also help divvy up the location. So the red dot's the main one, and it's included, but I can also put a couple other positions and rotations to help divvy it up and make it a little more horror-like, that he goes to these different locations. And yeah, I guess the only thing else I can say is I don't believe it includes yourself. So if you click that from yourself, it doesn't actually do anything. If I were to pause and take this location and shift it over to the left to show that that works, I can back out, tab over, type my cool hacker code, go over, click it, and he's going to be at the new specified location, even though this is here. That's going to be very useful to make big clickable hitboxes. So if there's an event like, hey, you need to get into this room, just click anywhere in the room. We'll have like a green reticle show up, and then it'll be confirmed that he goes to the place that's actually important, like the computer monitor that's in the back right of the room, but clicking anywhere in it is fine. All right, that is today's progress and update, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else we can get done if we're all ready with our main mechanics before the halfway point.